Right, 111. The noes to the left, 364.
The ayes to the right were 111, the noes to the left 364. So the noes have it, the noes have it. Unlock.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. British MP vote against an inquiry into grooming gangs 364 to 111. 364 were like, hey man, we don't need to investigate grooming gangs that are hurting kids and women. But it seems to be the party that says they care about women. Your action ain't reflecting it anymore. It does makes me wonder, maybe you don't want to do that because you want to protect a specific class. And I think that's the reason.
He is talking about distraction tactics. Let us have the truth. The Prime Minister cannot tell the House the full scale of the scandal. He doesn't want questions asked of Labour politicians who may be complicit. He won't listen to the victims. He won't listen to the victims who are calling for a national inquiry. He is making this all about a bill this afternoon. Later today, he will tell Labour MPs, including in Telford, Rochdale, Bristol, Derby, Aylesbury, Oldham, Bradford, Peterborough, Coventry, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, Ramsgate, to tell all of these people to vote against a national inquiry into the gangs which have systematically gang raped children in their constituencies. This is one of the worst scandals in British history, Mr. Speaker.
The fact that somebody has to say that and you hear people getting angry, and in the video for the people just listening, they're written in the subtitle, angry left-wing noises.
And I would say very respectfully to the Prime Minister, it's not about you, it is about the victims. Be a leader, not a lawyer.
And he's going to respond, you're just jumping on the bandwagon of the far right. I'm like, no, we care about women.
In 2008, an 11-year-old girl came to the attention of the police after she disclosed that she and another child had been sexually abused by a group of adult males. Just a few weeks later, she was found in a derelict house with another child and a number of adult males. Yet she was arrested, 11 years of age, she was arrested for being drunk and disorderly, and none of the males were arrested. Has your force identified the police officers involved in that and found out what went on?
I don't think you should have ever thought so much about that. You shouldn't think. The whole idea that you find a drunk person underage for drinking, hence the other stuff, let's remove that because that's not important. 11 years old, drunk, and you have to think like, maybe this is weird that you're the only one drunk around a bunch of adult males. I would get arrested in any other country, be under suspicion, not trusted. I find it wild that this is happening. I've never seen this happen and nobody thought it was fishy. And you're a cop.
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't know.
Police officer dismissed the case of a 12-year-old girl who'd been having sex with up to 5 Asian males because he said she had been, quote, 100% consensual in every incident. 12 years of age? I think that's unbelievable, to be honest. Have you identified who that officer was and found out what happened there?
Can I just make one thing clear? That I've said today that we must have an independent investigation team to come back at this. I have also personally spoken to the Director of Investigation at the IPCC.
Sorry, Mr. Austin, could the Chief Constable just finish? Please finish.
I've also personally spoken to the Director of Investigations at the IPCC and in order to involve them in this as well.
Fathers had tracked down their daughters and tried to remove them from houses where they were being abused, only to find themselves arrested when police were called to the scene. Do you know what happened in that case?
Chair, I don't seek to defend any of this, and that I've asked for I'm in the process of setting up an independent investigation because the number of staff at Rotherham.
I'm just going to stop it right here. you can see in his face that is like, I'm tired of you saying that you're doing something, but nothing is happening. Like you're exhausted. You know, they're like, why am I even explaining my point of view? And the moment you raise a little your voice, like I might be like, hey, come on. Hey, man, chill. You're getting angry. You remind me of the far right. I'm like, come on, man. This is kind of common sense that you're like, no, that common sense is wrong to have. I'm like, how? I have no idea what the heck is happening with UK with this scandal. You know, because this is so big, it's so common sense, but you don't see it coming.
Over such a period of time means that it can't have credibility unless we have some independence to the investigative process.
One of your officers decided that a 12-year-old girl was having sex with up to 5 adults and was 100% consenting in every incident. Should somebody like that be working for the police? So, I mean,
No.
somebody capable
No.
of making a decision like that?
No, it's a dreadful decision. And I've set my position out to find out about it.
Jack, your daughter was being abused by gangs and the police were doing nothing, but they did come for you. What happened when you tried to save her from an abuse den?
I was arrested outside, put in police car, taken away. We lived up next estate, so as we were passing, the stop car told me that I would be arrested, to go in the house and don't go back. I was that mad and furious. I went back to the flat. Within a few minutes, police were back, but this time in a van, and it were only a few minutes. So there must have been some on the street waiting, because they must have known I was going back.
So they were watching this flat where your daughter was being abused. They weren't going in to save her, but they did go in to arrest you.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. They arrested me second time, took me down at the police station, kept me in there. About an hour and a half later, they come into, because they didn't put me in a cell, they put me in a room. They took me out of the room, took me out through the police station, into the front bit with public, go to report crimes. Took me outside and said, right, go home, because if you go back to that flat, we're going to arrest you for stalking. And I don't know if you know or not, but there's serious new stalking laws coming, and we'll arrest you for stalking the occupants of that house.
As I said before, this has happened in Spain, right? And there was like a whole scandal for one case because 5 men said this drunken girl consented. I can't imagine anybody, any cop in Spain that finds a drunk girl surrounded by a bunch of men and they don't find it suspicious. And the fact that you would arrest the father that worries about a daughter, it doesn't make sense. The fact, it's like, it happens even in America.
Because of technical difficulties, I didn't get to discuss what I really wanted to on Newsmax today, so let me break it down for you. 158 Democrats voted against a bill that would have deported immigrants who committed sex crimes. This was not a partisan or a political issue. This was an issue for the safety of Americans, especially women who don't want to be further subjected to sexual violence. Democrats, this was your one chance to prove that you don't hate America and that you care about the safety of American women, and you blew it. And furthermore, this bill would have kept out immigrants who committed sex crimes in other countries. Sorry, Andrew Tate. The left wants us to believe that they are against this bill because it demonizes immigrants. No, it is crystal clear that this bill demonizes demons who are committing sexual violence in the United States. So when you go to the polls in November, I want you to remember that the majority of Democrats are okay with sexual abusers remaining in our country.
All I have to say is this. If you don't care about women, if you don't care about kids because it will affect your vote, I don't care if it's USA, UK or whatever, you lost my respect because you're not morally caring about anybody but yourself.
Don't get me wrong, ako sa kita bong, puta fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam turloqueta verdeta welcome.